Hi everyone, I'm Tammy and welcome to my gardening channel, Gardening with Tammy. Today I'm going to take you on a little trip with me to let you know how I started gardening and how I use containers to start my garden. So if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe so that you can get the latest videos that are coming up. So in today's episode, I simply want to talk about how I got started. And I was interested in gardening, never had a garden before, and said, you know what, hey, I'm going to give it a try. One of my neighbors, Mary Beth, gifted me three plants. She gave me a tomato, cucumbers, and basils, and honestly it changed my world. So I just want to give some insight as to how I maintain that garden, as well as how everything went for me. So if you're a first-time gardener, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not, welcome as well. So for the first-time gardeners, I just simply want to give you a little advice on how to keep everything going for you. So behind me I have raised beds. Now you can purchase raised beds from Amazon or wherever you would like to purchase them, and I'll link the link to where I purchased them down below so that you know exactly where to get them. So I started off with 5-gallon containers. I didn't want something small. I didn't want something medium. I wanted it to be just right, mainly because I was only starting out with those three things. I wanted to make sure that the container that I had enough room to support what I was growing, and actually it did. So I want to take you over and show you some of the things that I've done with the raised containers. So with the containers, these are 5-gallon containers, and as you can see they hold a pretty good deal, and this is one of my blackberry plants. As you can see, it's flowering. It does hold it. Now as far as when you want to deal with your containers, you want to select whatever container size that you want to select. You need to select the dirt that you would like to use, the type of seeds that you would like to use, and whatever fertilizer it is that you would like to use in order for your garden to take off. So for me, it was more so of trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to have in my garden, what I wanted to eat. I've never been a fan of cucumbers, and I was always curious as to why I never liked cucumbers until I grew them myself. So when I started my own cucumbers, I found out that I have a love for cucumbers, and mainly because I grew them myself. They tasted nothing like what was purchased in the grocery store, and neither did the tomatoes. And as a matter of fact, my husband did not like tomatoes until I grew them myself. So now he loves tomatoes. So I'm going to pull you back here a little bit, back to this raised bed. So when I purchased the raised bed, I simply got this, and these are machine washable. You can wash them, you can clean them out and wash them, and they're reusable. So when you decide that you want to use a container, you would simply put the dirt, the amount of dirt that you want to have in it. As you can notice that I don't have a full container of dirt, mainly because I'm trying to allow the plant to have its room to grow. So in here, if you come in a little bit closer, you can see exactly how much dirt it is that I have inside of here. So this is about the ideal amount of dirt that you want to use in order to fill your containers so that you're able to have enough room for your product that you want to choose to grow. So what I did was, again, I purchased the containers. I purchased Miracle-Gro dirt, and I'll link the link below as well, and I got that from Lowe's. So it was maybe about a regular size potting soil that I use with Miracle-Gro, and placed it inside of there. Now the most important step, of course, is to plant the seed. So normally if you're only dealing with one plant, you want to make sure that you center the seed so that whatever leaves you have can grow out off the side of it. So when I started my cucumber plants, they were sprawled all over the patio. Although the plant was centered, the leaves get huge with cucumber plants. If you ever seen them homegrown, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So mainly with the raised beds containers, I purchased several amount of those. Not only did I get 5-gallon as the time went on, I also purchased a 15-gallon container. So the 15-gallon container allowed me to grow a little bit more of what I wanted and still have the luxury of just confinement. So once you actually purchase your containers, you place your dirt, you place your seeds. The last very important step, really, water. So you don't have to drown it. You just have to get the soil at least pretty much to where it's covered. So the important thing about these containers is that they are very free, meaning the freeness of flow of water. So water flows very well outside of these containers. You don't have to worry about root rot, and that's something else that we'll get into at another time. However, so unfortunately, I don't have an example. I just wanted to kind of bring you in a little bit and let you know how I started. So if you're ever thinking about starting a garden, you want to start a container garden, this is the way to go. So if you never thought that, hey, maybe I'm not a grower, I don't know anything about it, I would tell you at least try it. At least go and purchase a 1 gallon container and put something in it and watch it take off. Now, so one of the things that I also used for my containers was a fertilizer. So a fertilizer that I decided to use, I purchased from My Gardener. Now this isn't a plug. I do not know Luke or Cindy. However, I found that the products that I purchased from them worked well for me, and I've been using them ever since. So behind me, if you can see, I have a few products that I added to my soil. So for container gardens, I added the dirt. I mixed in some trifecta, and trifecta is like a nitrogen base. It has all different types. It's a 5-10-4, and simply what that means is it just has the nutrients to allow your plants to grow. So I purchased this, and you can get it from his site, and I'll link the link below as well. And this is where I only purchase my seeds. I will not purchase seeds from anywhere else, mainly because he has a very good germination rate, normally at 100%. So this is some of the seeds that he sells. So this is a Great Lakes Crisp Head lettuce. You can purchase these seeds from him for about $2. They run about $2 a pack. Very good seeds, and as you can see, a lot of the items that I'm going to show you in a minute that I purchased from him have taken off, and I have not looked back. So some of the things that I have purchased from Luke's garden are strawberries. So if you can see here, I purchased strawberry roots from him. Now the stuff that you see on top, we just got our grass cut, as well as the little sprinkles, that's salt, and that's mainly to keep the slugs off, but we'll get into that in another video. So as you can see, out of the 15-gallon container that I have here and the 15-gallon container I have here, very, very, very much a success. As you can see, a lot of people say that you probably shouldn't plant these this close, but it's working for me. So I would probably tell you that if you're just not starting off gardening, don't go for the 15-gallon. Just simply go to the 1 gallon, 3 gallon, or 5 gallon, whatever your comfort rate is with that. So again, the most important steps, there are 5 steps that I will tell you to go by. First, purchase your containers. 2, purchase the dirt that you would like to purchase. 3, plant your seed. 4, water. So as far as watering, we'll get into another video of how I water, when you're supposed to water, and what all that you need to do to keep your plants looking healthy and green. So I just want to bring you along a little bit for today's video and just give you an insight about how I started and how everything took off for me. As you can see, some of these plants that I have before I end this video are from last year. So if you take a look over here, this is one of the items that I purchased from last year, and this is my parsley. It came back, as well as the rosemary. Now I do have some more items that didn't quite make it, and mainly because those are just seasonal items. So none of the items other than those 2 that I purchased came back. Not an issue, but we'll get into that at another point in time. So for now, I just want to thank you so much for joining in and watching my video. Hopefully these tips help you to be able to successfully manage your garden. If they don't, I mean, hey, you do what works for you. I can only tell you what worked for me, and as you can see, everything is working fine. So again, thank you so much for joining my channel, Gardening with Tammy. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that you can get the next videos on how everything else is growing and the next steps as far as pest control, watering, and so much more. Thank you again. You guys have a great day.